Latimer City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Thank you all for coming to my show. Just in case you wanted to know, I'm available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, and funerals. Right, we're just going to do a quick sound check on this mic. Sorry, Mike. Anyway, the guitar playing is not really the important thing. The important thing is to listen to the words, otherwise you will miss the joke. Is this on? Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so I'll make this quick because I need to go to the bathroom. So a little bit about me. I'm a British citizen. I was actually born in Germany, but my father was British, so I am British. And I was the youngest in my family. My parents were both older than me. Family's originally from the Midlands of England, which is the area where all the ceramics are made. The pottery area, Staffordshire, Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire. Anybody familiar with that? Yep, okay, good. However, I was actually brought up in Hampshire. I grew up in Hampshire, which is in the south of England, so I ended up with better weather, better climate, better education, and most of all, a better accent, which is akin to growing up in the southern states of America. Anyway, let's see. Usually about this time, people like me may feel a little nervous. Sometimes I feel nervous. The important thing is not to let anybody know that I am nervous, and that's why I always wear brown. Okay, so I've been coming to Thailand for over 40 years on holiday, and I've noticed just recently, in the 9 years I've actually been living here, that there's a lot of middle-aged men, like everybody here, with cute little Thai girlfriends or wives. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that's the second time around. Anyway, you have to be very careful when you're choosing a mate. This is what happened to a friend of mine. You can join in the chorus. It's only a short chorus. It will become apparent as the song progresses. We got married on Sunday, reception lasted till Monday, and by the light of the moon we went to our room side by side. I was so filled with grief when she took out her false teeth and one eye and her hair. She laid on a chair side by side. Then one arm, then one leg she unscrewed and placed beside the bed, and with her back to the wall she looked nothing at all side by side. I was so broken hearted, half of my wife had departed, so I slept on a chair. There was more of her there side by side. So I slept on a chair. There was more of her there side by side. Thank you very much. Thank you. Just a taste of what's to come. Oh, sorry, Mike. All right, so a little bit about this guitar. This is my guitar, which I picked a long time ago. It's called an Ovation, And if you lot are not very kind to me today, I can have a standing ovation anytime I want one. I also picked this guitar for another reason. It reminds me of a beautiful woman. Now think about it. Hourglass figure, yes? A few cracks here and there. A nice rounded back end. Coming apart at the seams. Highly strung. Sound hole in the right place, I hope. A long, slender neck. Lots of fretting. Women are always fretting. And a perfect set of gold teeth. Anyway, so some of the couples here, the old and young together, produce even younger children. Now, I don't know if you realize it, but children these days are a lot more sophisticated than when we were young. They can hear something and go and look it up on the internet, and they know more than we ever did when we were young, because we didn't have the internet. And for example, I saw two little girls the other day. They were chattering away like they do, 5 or 6 years old, I don't know. And one of them says, you know, I found a contraceptive on the veranda. And her friend says, what's a veranda? Okay, so this is a song about kids. Okay. Well, there's Lego in the toaster and there's Lego down the loo. And look before you swallow, 'cause there's Lego in the stew. And don't tell the little builders what you'd really like to do. Just remember, they're only kids. And isn't it exciting when the words begin to come? You teach them to say dada and you teach them to say mum. And then you try to shut them up when they discover bum. Just remember, they're only kids. At night they look so cozy, those infant mafiosi, but bolt the bedroom door, I'm telling you. 'Cause if you feel romantic, there's a sound that drives you frantic. It says, hello mum and daddy, can I play horsey too? And it's mummy we've been helping, mummy why have you gone pale? Look what's in your handbag, we've been catching snails. And we've nearly fixed the telly, but we just run out of nails. Just remember, they're only kids. Grandpa's in the bathroom and the air is turning blue. The kids have filled the keyhole with a tube of super glue. And he didn't spot the cling film that they stretched across the loo. Just remember, they're only kids. And then your little lad, all innocent, says, Dad, can 10-year-olds get in the family way? You smile and say, not yet. Then your legs turn sort of wet when you hear him tell the girl next door, I said we'd be okay. The magazines they read are on the purple side of blue. They know where babies come from and they know what stops them too. With G.I. Joe and Barbie they'll show you a thing or two. Just remember, they're only kids. And now the years have passed and all your little birds have flown. You're off for tranquilizers and it's home sweet home. And then they come and visit you with children of their own. Just remember, they're only kids. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so any teachers here this morning? Teachers? Yep, one over there, look. And you're still alive? Wow. Okay, so after children were small, then they become bigger. They have to go to school. I didn't do very well at school. I didn't like it much. But there was an article in the British News back when I was a child about some kids who really did not like a particular teacher. So they built a bomb and tried to blow him up. The bomb didn't go off, which was fortunate for the teacher. But I didn't do well at school. The teachers didn't like me much. They would write things on my report card like, this boy is a waste of a good skin. and he is not worth the paper he refuses to write on. Now you see, that's wrong right there. It should be, and I'm sure all you teachers will agree with me, it should be, he's not worth the paper on which he refuses to write. Is that correct? I thought so. Okay, so this is a revenge song about doing away with teachers in the manner in which they teach. The head of geology rattles away at granite formations and where fossils lay. So that night we stuck him under 6 feet of clay, and he's one less to worry about. Mathematics thrust on us by fat Mr. Clegg, so we tortured him till he was ready to beg. He's got multiple fractures, he's minus a leg, and he's one less to worry about. Miss Jones taught us music, or rather she tried. She would sing like a bird, and that's probably why she was pushed off the roof to see if she could fly, and she's one less to worry about. Mr. Grimes taught geography, a heinous old man. He knows every country one possibly can. Now his liver's in Spain and his lungs in Japan, and he's one less to worry about. The chemistry master was always a bind. He drove everybody right out of their mind. In a bath full of acid, he's so hard to find, and he's one less to worry about. The biology chap said that each thing we bite would be semi-digested the following night. We dissected him, and do you know he was right? And he's one less to worry about. So beware all you teachers, and think every time that you preach, let the punishment fit to the crime. 'Cause you're next just as soon as we've thought of a rhyme. There'll be none left to worry about. None left to worry about. Thank you. I'm still nervous. Okay, all right, now, although I wasn't very good at school, I did enjoy some extracurricular activities after school. And one of those was, excuse me a sec, the gin. I need the gin. Oh, sorry, Mike. Okay, so I used to, you all know what agony columns are. Yep, and those of you who don't, Americans maybe, it's Dear Abby or Dear Anne. It's where that you tell everybody in the world about your problem, and you do your confession to the entire world instead of sitting in a box confessing to somebody sitting in an adjacent box. So anyway, this one particular letter I sent to an agony column, and it went like this. Dear Marge, as a Japanese officer in the last war, I managed to escape the American recapture of Malaysia via the underground drainage systems in Singapore. And halfway along, I met a fellow Japanese officer coming the other way. And we stopped and had a chat and shared a sandwich carefully. Oh, it's working again. Oh, lovely. And exchanged addresses, vowing to meet again after the war was over. And the war's been over now for 40 years, and I still have his address. Should I write to him in the hope of renewing a worthwhile relationship, or were we just two nips that passed in the shite? Never printed it. Can't. No. Why? Anyway, let's see. Yeah. So now I've left school. I've had enough of school. I've left school. Time to find a job. So now I'm looking for a job. My first choice was to be an astronaut. Who read the Eagle comic? Anybody? Yep, and Dan Dare, pilot of the future, traveled all over the cosmos. There weren't very many openings for astronauts back then. So, and then I tried to be, I applied for a job as a snooker referee. But I was so short, I couldn't reach the middle of the table to put the blue ball back in its spot. And also, at that particular time, I couldn't count to 147. So that went out the window. So the next, I did find a job. It was in a manufacturing company that made cleaning products. And as I joined, they had just developed a new product for which they were looking for a name. Now, they put it out to all the employees, try and think of a name for this new product. And one man came up with the name Best Universal Grit, Grime, and Effluent Remover, Bugger. So if Omo won't whiten it and Tide won't brighten it, then bugger it. Well, the management weren't really too keen on that, which was fortunate because I didn't put forward the one I thought of, which would have been the finest universal cleaner known. So that didn't go down very well. Anyway, this is what they did. They found a name. They called it the Handier Household Help, or HHH for short. And they found that this product did a lot more than clean things. Oh, wait a minute. Need to go up a bit. I'm glad that's not going around my neck. Right. Yes, here we go. It's the handiest household help. Let's have a roll on the drums. It's the answer to your problems. It will cure them, everyone. It's universally popular around colleges and homes for removing excess pubic hair, amending concrete gnomes. You can put it down the toilet, you can spread it on the walls, you can buy it in pint canisters for smearing on your banisters. It's only £1.20 from your local hardware store. It's the handiest household help that you have ever had before. Mr. Jones went fishing to try and catch some trout. Although he fished for hours and hours, he thought his luck was out. He tried some handier household help and quickly changed the scene. He caught mermaids, the Titanic, and a nuclear submarine. You can put it on the ceiling if you spread it nice and thick. It will grant your fondest wishes and take egg stains off your dishes. It's only £1.20 from your local hardware store. It's the handiest household help that you have ever had before. Poor Miss Brown was so upset because she had no figure. She smeared her bust with HHH to try and make it bigger. The smell drove Miss Brown's boss berserk as she sat on his knee. Now Miss Brown's figure's bigger where it did not ought to be. It removes the stains from carpets and the blemishes from glass, keeps your radio free from static and will fumigate your attic. It's only £1.20 from your local hardware store. It's the handiest household help that you have ever had before. Mrs. Smith was rather sad because her whites were grey. We recommended household help to take the stains away. She spilled some in her husband's beer about a week ago. Now Mrs. Smith's a widow, but her sheets are white as snow. It will reproduce a picture upside down and back to front. It will clean a street in Dunstable or renovate a constable. It's only £1.20 from your local hardware store. It's the handiest household help that you have ever had before. Thank you. Now I know what dirty minds you all have. Okay. All right, so now I have a job, making a little bit of money. Maybe it's time to find a girlfriend. Okay, so my first few efforts didn't go very well. I was always led to believe that women didn't enjoy sex, and I eventually found out they just didn't enjoy sex with me. A friend of mine set me up on a blind date. I thought, well, that was rather nice of him. So I went to, just a second. All folk singers do that. I didn't know I was a folk singer till one day I sang and somebody said, what the folk was that? Anyway, what was it? Oh yes, the blind date. I went to meet the girl. I went to shake her hand and her dog bit me. So that didn't help. However, one night I was in a club. I was talking to a very nice young lady. We had a few dances and a few drinks, and things seemed to be going very well. I thought, well, maybe this is it, you know. And she seemed very impressed when I told her I had a BMW, until I gave her the crash helmet. Anyway, one day, eventually I was able to buy a car, and you know what happens when you have a car and a girlfriend at the same time. And so there we were in a country lane in a lay-by, talking, and we're sitting there and we're talking away, you know, and the usual. And I said, do you want to go in the back? She says, no. I said, all right. So we carried on talking a bit longer, and I said, do you want to go in the back? She said, no, I want to stay in the front with you. Anyway, we were doing more and more talking, and then suddenly there was a tap on the window. Oh, yeah. Respond. Yeah, there was a tap on the window, and I looked out, and there's a policeman standing there. Anyway, it indicated that I should wind down the window. We didn't have electric windows in Britain back then, so we wind down the window, and he said, what are you all doing in there? I said, nothing, officer, just talking. And he looked at me kind of strange, you know, because I was casually dressed, open-neck trousers. And he said, all right. He said, when you've finished, I'm next. He said, what are you shaking for? I said, I've never screwed a copper before. Anyway, I did eventually find out the kind of woman I liked, and this is a song about her. Well, I was raised in a sophisticated kind of style. Well, my taste in music and women drove my folks half wild. Mom and Dad had a plan for me. It was debutantes and the symphony. But I like my music and I like my women wild. Yes, I like my women just a little on the trashy side. When they wear their clothes too tight and their hair is dyed. Too much lipstick and too much rouge makes me excited, leaves me feeling confused. Cause I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Well, you should have seen the looks on the faces of my dad and mom when I showed up at the door with a date for the senior prom. They said, well, pardon us, son, but she ain't no kid. That's a cocktail waitress in a Dolly Parton wig. I said, I know it, Dad, ain't she cool? It's the kind I dig. Yes, I like my women just a little on the trashy side. When they wear their clothes clothes too tight and their hair is dyed. Too much lipstick and too much rouge makes me excited, leaves me feeling confused, 'cause I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Well, I like 'em sweet, I like 'em with a heart of gold. Well, I like 'em brassy, I like 'em brazen and bold. They say opposites attract, well I don't agree. I want a woman just as tacky as me, 'cause I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Yes, I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Well, I like my women and I like them on the trashy side. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's about it from me. Usually at this time, when the speaker or the singer or whoever it is finishes, they'll say any questions. Any questions that you might have should be directed to my lawyer. Because I might be in trouble. I might plead the fifth. I don't know. But anyway, are there any questions? No, I don't think so. Who would want to question me? Anyway, thank you very much. We're here all week.
Okay, put your hands together for Charles.
Thank you very much.